everyone. How are you all today?
Morning.
Yes. Zoomy wave, zoomy wave.
Zoomy wave. Hey.
Zoomy wave. So, how are you, Mike?
I'm not too bad. You're going to have to talk because I'm going to have to get a tissue now. I've just had that sneezing fit. Be back in a second.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Mike literally has just had a bit of a sneezing fit. And it was quite funny because when he sneezes, you could see his mic. So there it goes. Yeah, his mic comes in on and off. Today, we are going to be talking about, well, the usual stuff, really. The weather, TV. We've got a little spot about the lunches as well. Now, talking about food, we also have we have a guest today.
Really?
We do.
Why do you not tell me these things? I just come on and then you tell me that what are you like?
It's all prearranged. Yes, yeah. We have Jason, and basically Jason Plimmer is a chef of Summary now. I've got he sent me a CV. He says send me. We normally ask our guests to send us things, and it's like it's just pages and pages and pages. Look at this of things. He has now Jason. Okay, he's a greengrocer, but he also belongs to quite a few other guilds and things like that through being a chef. Now we're going to talk to Jason in a bit. He's just in his kitchen preparing. This is a bit like this morning, isn't it? With Gino Giovanni.
But we're better looking presenters, clearly.
Yes, obviously, yeah. And he's going to whip up a storm in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Yes, which is something he's going to start doing. He's going to be doing lives and things like that, cooking, because obviously food boxes have been going out, and people don't really know what to do with food. I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, but basically with food, obviously you get it out of the box, you put it together, and then you work on what's in the box.
On your menus and things.
And your menus. Yeah, so what I think is really, really important, I'm just going to put that over there until Jason comes in. What I think is really important is the fact that when you get a food box, or even when you just get your normal shopping, I think it's important that you put things together. You go, right, for instance, mince and spaghetti go together to make
spaghetti bolognese.
Well done, exactly.
With a bit of tomatoes and herbs as well.
Yeah, tomatoes and herbs, or you just buy a tin of sauce, which is actually really cheap, I believe.
It is, yeah.
For about
really
99p.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, so you put that together. You go, that's one meal, and then you can have your again, you can have mince and potatoes. You can have chicken and veg. And
I have to admit, my favourite one coming out of the food boxes we did with Surrey Heath prepared was corned beef, potatoes, onions, and some carrots.
Oh, corned beef hash with tomato sauce. Bit of tomato sauce in it. Lovely.
Yeah, or we do it here. We put a can of baked beans in it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, corned beef hash, you can put anything with it, can't you?
Yeah.
Really?
It's great, and always do it with a bit of, it's just, and if it's really nice, put a fried egg on top as well. But that makes it into posh corned beef hash. I saw that Heston Blumenthal do that once.
Okay, did you put a bit of avocado with it as well? Just to,
just to mix it up. Trust me,
you
didn't get avocados in the food boxes. So you can do all sorts with the stuff, can't you?
You can. There's no, a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that." But if you put it with something, it changes the whole flavour of it. So experiment with it. Just try it. I mean, what can go wrong? To be honest,
you're not going to make. If you don't like it, you're not going to make it worse, are you?
Well, no. And obviously a bit of salt and pepper, as my nan would say, a bit of salt and pepper in the meal always changes it. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? McDonald's use a bit of salt and pepper as well in their.
They do. And salt brings out the flavour. It's one of those ingredients that enhances it, isn't it? A bit like anchovies and Worcestershire sauce.
It is. And now, so when you do get a food box, okay, don't just go through it. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Try to make some meals out of it using the stuff that you don't like. I mean, like, I hate tomatoes. I can't stand tomatoes, but I like tomato sauce. And if you put tomatoes in spaghetti bolognese, it really, really does enhance the flavour.
You can't not put tomatoes in spaghetti bolognese. It's kind of one of the key ingredients.
I know, but I would still eat it though.
Yeah,
even though it's got tomatoes in.
But the one we used to do when I was in the army, we'd always carry with us a bottle of Tabasco sauce, because whatever you had, you could kill any flavour and make it better with a bit of Tabasco sauce.
Have you ever done the Tabasco sauce challenge, where you just drink it straight from the bottle?
I may be crazy, but I'm not that mad. I did do one once where we had it was apparently the hottest chili sauce in the world.
Yeah.
But it was one of those, you put it on the tip of your finger and you felt your skin start melting. So you'd put a drop on a spoon and do the challenge to see what facial reaction you could get. It was obviously after a couple of beers to make it all sensible and seem the right thing to do. So we did this in the sergeant's mess. I was at Purbright at the time, did it in the sergeant's mess, had this, and I was kind of going, and then we had a brigadier who was very funny. He just went, yeah, put it in his mouth. I went,
some people can do that.
And he just said, oh, it's all right. And I said to him afterwards, I said, brigadier, how did you do that? And he went, oh, Padre, it's all a case of mind over matter. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. My face was melting off. But have you seen the ones with not Guy Ferreira, but the Man versus Food?
Oh, I can't. Yeah,
I don't like Man versus. I don't like the new. I don't particularly like it. I prefer Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives, or whatever it is with Guy Ferreira. I quite like that.
Yeah.
But Man versus Food, where he does the hottest thing ever, and you just go, why would you do that?
Is that the bloke who goes and eats like the biggest steak and things like that? I mean, why
just waste 10? I just don't know why you'd waste that amount of food. Whereas Guy Ferreira's a chef, isn't he? And he goes, I was watching one the other night, and they were doing the Greatest American Barbecue, which is different to what we have, but you could just see the pure delight in his eyes with the food he was tasting and the enjoyment. And it's a bit like when you watch the Hairy Bikers, and they go and taste Mama's greatest food.
Yes.
And you see that pure delight of the food in their eyes. And it was, it's just nice to watch, actually.
The Hairy Bikers, I mean, they are absolutely amazing. We've got the Hairy Bikers diet book 1 and 2, which is absolutely amazing. It's not too good at the moment.
but don't they reckon? Have you seen The Masked Singer on TV?
Unfortunately, we watched it last week just to see what it was like. And do you know what? I was right. We turned it over.
You've done better than me. We found it quite compelling viewing, actually. But it is quite funny. And I didn't get Glenn Hoddle. I had no idea that was Glenn Hoddle. Got the one the week before that was Martin McCutcheon's. Yeah. But they reckon Badger in it might be one of the Hairy Bikers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the things they like to do things like that because one of them did Strictly.
Oh, right.
They've
was
done
that Dave?
the one with the dark hair because one of them had brain cancer. One of them they went to the doctor. The story is I'm just going to move my screen slightly. There we go.
I thought the thing in your seat had gone and you were going.
No. One of them went to the doctors for a check and found out they had brain cancer. That was the one that's the blonde-haired.
So that was one. Because I know if it's Badger, it's got to be Dave, the smaller guy.
Okay.
Because the height of it. But yeah, that explains why Si's not done things like that. But what I love about them is they just bounce off each other wonderfully. That gives me an idea though, Neil. What about
go on then.
Taking this on the road when lockdown ends, and we'll do a drivers, dine-ins, dives, Camberley style.
Yeah, I'm up for that. We'll just turn up at people's houses and just start cooking randomly.
I wasn't thinking of cooking. I was thinking critique of bacon butties and then an excuse to go to Mullins and try and have their avocado bacon toast thing.
We could do it. Yeah, we could do it live. We could go around. We could do live from Mullins. We could do. I'm sure Jenny's. We could have breakfast at Jenny's. We could do. Just set the cameras up and away we go. Is anyone knowing about production and cameras and things like that? Because we could really do with that at the moment.
We could. We're doing very well making it up as we go along. But talking to Mullins, I saw a chap this morning from church who I know really well. So hi to Steve and John, and hope you're both doing well. Wonderful chap, couple of guys. And Steve has been working at Mullins, but it's closed at the moment. And the guys who own Mullins and run Mullins are currently volunteering with the vaccination centre over at Lakeside doing stewarding. So congratulations to them. And it's great that people are willing to offer to support the community like that. I just think it's fabulous. So big shout out to Mullins for being involved with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't actually do that yet because I've come out of COVID. So I'm not allowed to do it for about 3 months. I think it's 90 days or something. So, but I know, Mike, you do it in your.
Yeah, I've been I'm forgetting. My brain's gone. Been in King's School helping with the swab testing, which has been amazing.
Yes.
What I have discovered through that is the variety of tongues that people have.
Tongues.
I struggle when I'm trying to get. I I can't. My tongue gets in the way. It's a bit like the dentist where they say stick your tongue out, and you go, "Hi in there."
Because you're not meant to do the tongue, are you? You've got to do the tonsils.
You've got to get your tonsils at the back, so it's quite hard, and it works if you're gagging. But I really, I kind of like this, and then up your nose, and it's horrible. But the good thing is I get tested each time, so
I do not want to repeat at all. So,
no.
Okay.
But I'm also helping with St John Ambulance. So St John Ambulance are providing volunteers for the big mass vaccination centres. So I've been every day interviewing about half a dozen people for that. So it's really exciting stuff.
Yeah, we are moving forward at a great rate of knots.
Great things to do. But yeah, it's great being a part of St John, and then been doing Rotary things as well.
Yeah.
And Saturday is going to be exciting because I'm hosting I'm a trustee of something called the Waldensian Church Missions, the English Committee for Waldensian Church Missions, which is a pre-Reformation church in Italy, the Waldensian Church, based in northwest Italy, in the Piemonte valleys. And we're holding an away day via Zoom, which is exciting. So I'll share with you my favourite, the background for the day, because it's quite nice.
Go on then.
And it is my favorite destination. There we go.
So this is the thing. We can come back to this because we have our guest who's waiting, obviously, in the
you're
green
dropping
room.
a hint there, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll better bring
Talking
Jason
about
in,
cooking. Talking about cooking.
Can we bring Jason in?
Bring Jason in. Now this is.
Oh, he's gone.
No, there he is. He's on mute. He's
muted yourself, Jason.
You muted yourself.
yourself.
Unmute yourself, Jason. No. He's on his iPhone because.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Mike?
Not too bad. Hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to speaker view so we can see you better.
Yeah. Let me just give a little swing of the camera. There you go. That might be
the only downside, Jason, with that is it's reflecting off your bald spot.
Oh,
Mike has the same problem. Don't worry. That's why he has to sit face up like that and not like that.
Yeah. So. I often get called Mike walking through the town. It's only when I turn around they go, "Oh no, you're not wearing your collar."
Okay, so what are you going to be making for us today?
Well, I've sort of turned this around and called it sort of a lunch and a brunch. You can even have it for breakfast. So what I'm going to do is I've got 15 minutes and I've done a lot of prep just alongside me, behind me, which you might not see over here, so we can speed this through. Yeah. I'm going to do a toasted, malted bloomer slice. I'm going to slightly rub that with a little bit of truffle oil, quickly bar mark that on the stove, and just pop that in the warm oven just to sit there and wait along. On top of that, I've got a nice piece of bacon steak that I've just trimmed up slightly. I've left a little bit of the fat on there because everybody, I think, likes a little bit of fat. I'm just going to char and bar that as well. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, pepper, cracked black Maldon salt with that one. Pop that in the oven. On top of that, I'm going to add a little bit of a mature cheddar cheese. Now, I've slightly changed this morning. I've run a little bit of herb through that. I'm going to finish that off with a thing called a one pot or one pan egg.
I want to get one of those. It's ideal for doing eggs in.
I can tell you many. So it's a non-stick pan. You can just drop the egg straight into that. And within, I say, a minute or so, depending how you like your eggs, we're going to lay that on top of that. We're going to finish that off with a little bit of crispy leeks, which I've shredded up. I've deep fried them this morning. We're going to do a little bit of tomato red onion concasse. And for those that don't know what concasse means, it's a blanched tomato, roughly diced and de-seeded. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, I'm just going to finish that with a little bit of herb drizzle. That will complement the egg and the bacon steak. And then I'm just going to finish out, which is great, is a little bit of smoked paprika. Now, I use a lot of smoked paprika, but I find that really enhances the taste. So without further ado,
hang on, Jason. Let me just get this back to basics. You're basically making bacon and egg on toast.
Similar, yeah, but with a twist. We call it posh bacon, egg and toast.
If you go to one of those posh restaurants who do breakfast, that's the sort of thing it's going to be, isn't it?
12 quid for it.
It certainly is, yeah. But if I had an hour, we could do a 3-course menu.
Okay, no problem.
But that's another day, Neil.
Just before you start, I'm just going to say to our couple of viewers, if you've got any questions about what to do with ingredients you've got in food boxes or you're not sure what to do please message us in. I'm monitoring the chats, the messages. So Jason, over to you. I'm going to make you full screen, full viewer.
Perfect.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That means you've got to be quiet now, Neil.
Okay.
Is
he
full view?
Off my bacon steak quickly. Just got to get a little bit of colour in there. As you can see, I've already prepared my sauce. My little pan's on for my egg. 15 minutes. Bish bash bosh. We should have that on the plate. So I'm just getting a little bit of flavour into that. I've actually smoked my griddle pan to enhance the flavour of it with a little bit of the smoked paprika. So if it gets a little bit smoky in here, I'm still here, okay? That should be enough. Right, there we go. So enough to get some flavour in it, give it just a little bit of colour. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that into my warming oven because I've already prepared and cooked that already. So I don't want to cook it anymore, otherwise it will become tough and the meat will shrink. So we're on to that. So what I'm going to do, I've got my toasted bread here. I've already toasted it just slightly, again, for quickness today. So again, I'm going to put that onto my griddle pan. I've got some amazing truffle oil here, when I can get it out the bottle. Click the lid. So we've got some truffle oil. I'm just going to give that a little douse of the truffle oil on top of there. Perfect. So again, I'm just getting some colour into the pan. Yeah, I'm going to quickly flick that over, pull some colour and flavour with the truffle oil into the bread. We'll take that off of there now. Stick that on there. We stick that one in the oven. With the truffle oil on that now, it will actually, with the bread, it will draw the flavour into the truffle, which you will taste once you cut into the bread with the rest of the dish. Right, I'm just going to turn off my back pan before the fire alarms go off, because that might be funny. Right, on here I've done a simple herb, a basic sauce base, basic white sauce. Obviously flour, butter, milk, and I've added some stock powder. Now I use a company, well, I'm lucky enough to be sponsored by a company called Cuisine. So they do all vegan based stocks. So when you see a beef stock, it's vegan based. It's non-allergen. All the allergens are taken out of it. Amazing products. Yeah, I will put a list up with some of their recipes at some point. I'll send them over to you, Neil, so you can put them up. And at the moment, the team is actually working on boxes. So what you can get in a box, i.e. from the food vouchers, they're actually making up now. Some of the chefs back at the training centre are actually now putting dishes together, which are cheap, that can last a couple of days. So going back to my sauce, so it's a basic sauce, flour, egg, milk, flour, butter, milk. Then we've got some stock running through that. So that's basically, if you can see there it is in there. Hold that up. So we're there. So to give it that cheese flavour.
Looking good, this, Jason. Looking good.
I've got some English mature cheddar cheese. So
wow,
just
I love cheese.
A bit more flavour in there. I'm just going to add a bit more cheese into that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to save a little bit of this cheese for later to go on top to finish it off. Because once it sits on top of the sauce and the egg, it will fall through it. So you get a little bit more flavour of the mature cheddar cheese through it. So while I'm there, if you've got any questions or anything you want to fire at me, please do.
Our one view is okay at the moment, so there's no questions yet.
What? Yeah, Jason.
Hello.
When you're cooking, okay.
Yeah.
Do you sing when you're cooking, or do
no,
you?
I don't.
I'm
good when I'm in the shower singing because it echoes and I sound like Robbie Williams.
Okay. Okay.
Or sometimes if I can do Acapulco, I'll sound like the Jersey Boys behind you, Neil.
The reason why the Jersey Boys are behind me is because as soon as the theatres open up, the Jersey Boys are coming back to the West End. I am so excited.
So we're having a little bit of that in the old Neil, yeah?
Walking like a man, yes. Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. So here we go. So the sauce is in that. Always,
I'm going to go big screen again.
Always when you're cooking, taste as you go along. Not bad. So what I'm going to do, I just need a little bit more in there, and I tend to use a lot of Malden rock salt. I use coarse white rock salt, and I also use pink Himalayan rock salt.
Could you just use normal salt and pepper?
You can do. I mean, the normal coarse salt, which I call table salt.
Yeah.
Or sometimes in trade we call it cooking salt. It's coarse, it's fine, but you can overpower dishes with it.
What's the difference between Malden sea salt and a Himalayan salt?
One comes from Himalayas, which is pink. It's a pink rock salt. Malden is the product brand. It's a rock sea salt, which is natural, which comes from this country.
So Do they taste significantly different, or is the taste very similar?
Yeah, with the rock salt, I find it's very, very strong.
Yeah.
And if you're making sauces with it, what you find is you've got to make sure you cook it out, otherwise you'll find a gritty bit in there.
Yeah, yeah.
So it has to break down with it, especially in sauces. It has to break down.
It doesn't break down as easily as sea salt, does it?
No, that's correct. It's great if you're doing roasting joints. Once you roast your joint, over the top with the roasting joint, rub it in, it holds, especially with pork. It's fantastic for pork. You get amazing crackling from the Maldon salt. Any rock salt you'll get amazing taste with. So yeah, that's all about Maldon salt. Right, I think we're not far off here of getting ready to plate up actually. So I'm just going to move the griddle pan off of here. Just get rid of that.
I want to see him cook the egg. I want to know, is it going to be like that perfect egg with a nice yellow yolk, or is it going to crack? You know, it's like if under pressure, you know.
Oh, right. We'll go to full screen so we can see this.
No, that's you, Mike.
There we go. Just move that over to there now.
Look at that egg. I can see it shining from here. Look at that.
If I could just hold that up.
Oh,
wow.
Lovely. Lovely.
Okay,
wow.
So there's your one egg. I'm going to just let that run a little bit on there.
Of course, when we go back to being in normal situation, we'll be able to taste this, Mike. We can't taste this at the moment. I know.
I'm surprised you can't smell it from here already. I'm sure it's wafting down Knoll Road somewhere.
Okay.
Right, so I'm just cracking this up just a little bit. I tend to keep my egg, especially this egg pan, I tend to keep it on low and then gradually bring up the heat to finish off the egg.
Because cooking fried eggs is actually quite an art, as I've discovered over the years. You can't just crack the egg in and then that's it, because you've got to take it out. We've got to take it out without trying to damage the yolk.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of people, they crack the egg into a cup or a glass jug and then pour it in. You'll see chefs going crack, 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 one fingers. We can all do that if you're good enough. But I tend to tap mine and I just open it up slowly and let it run in. So the egg white goes into the pan, followed by the yolk. So you tend to get the yolk, not on this occasion, in the centre of the egg. If it's slightly one-sided to the egg, I've always found if it's slightly one-sided to the egg and you're putting it on say a meat dish, it will slide. It will take you to the weight to one side. So I'm hoping that's not going to happen today. So look, there we go.
When I take the wife up to London, we stay at the Waldorf, and there you have an egg chef, and this bloke just literally at breakfast, all he just does eggs, however you want them, and it's absolutely amazing.
I know where I'm going next time I go into London now to try the eggs at the Waldorf.
Yes,
I think
definitely.
we're all going.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this at the moment, but this is the beauty of this name dropping here. This is Wolfie Richards' pan. Look, non-stick.
Wow. There's no oil in there at all?
No oil in there at all. All I do is, once the egg's finished, I just quickly boil in hot water on the tap and I wipe it out and just polish it. No abrasive, literally not even washing up liquid.
Brilliant.
Take the Teflon off the pan. So there we go. If I just hold that up, let's get a cloth under that. You might be able to see that.
Oh, wow. That looks good.
So there you go. There's your £1 egg. These pans also are absolutely amazing for omelettes.
Yeah.
Or pancakes. A little while back, before last year actually, the kids pestered me for pancakes. And I thought, pancakes. It's a chef's nightmare making pancakes. So I said, not a problem. So I made quite a batch up and I knocked out probably about 50 of these. One, and then at the time I never had another pan. I only had the one pan at the time. And obviously I'd have 2 or 3 going at the time. And I tell you what, ideal for little tiny pancakes. And the kids loved them. I think they had hazelnut Nutella on there or something like that.
Oh, lovely.
I think one had maple syrup. I don't know. I just put a load of stuff on the table and said, help yourself. I mean, I'm not a great pancake or omelette lover, but everyone to their own, as they say.
Yeah.
So, okay, that egg is virtually done, really. So I can turn everything off on my stove I need to. So that takes some heat out of the kitchen. Right, so we're coming to the plating up scenario.
No,
now.
this
So
is the part where chefs really come into their own, don't they? To make it look.
Yeah, I mean, I've not done anything fancy today. I mean, as you know, Neil, and you're aware that I'm doing a 1 hour showcase on Saturday.
Plug.
I've got a dish of let me think now.
What are you doing that on, Jason?
Chicken wild mushroom. It's stuffed with a sauce. With that, I've got baby root glazed root veg and potatoes.
Wow.
And I've got a wild mushroom stew going with that. So,
do you deliver?
Sorry?
Do you deliver?
I love liver. I absolutely love liver. Vicky loves liver.
I said, do you deliver?
He's gone into one. Yeah.
You see, it sounds bouncing back off this kitchen.
But,
do I deliver? It can be arranged, Mike, but we got social distance. Okay.
Yeah. So what's your showcase on?
I think I got a Deliveroo bike somewhere.
Okay. What's your showcase on Saturday if people want to watch it?
So I'm doing a dish that I'm quite renowned for. It's actually
beans on toast.
It was used in the BBC series actually. So I'm doing a stuffed chicken breast with obviously like a mousseline from the rest of the chicken carcass, wild mushroom. There's going to be a little bit of smoked bacon or pancetta running through that. What I tend to do, I roll it in cling film and I sous vide it for about, I'm going to boil it this time, but in a simmering pan on the stove for about an hour. I'll let that rest. I tend to take that out, let it cool slightly, and then I wrap it in pancetta. And then what I do is sieve it on a hot pan and then just pop it in the oven. What I also do with the chicken breast skin is I put it flat between two flat trays.
What you need, Jason?
And I compress the skin and I put weight on it and bake it through the oven very slowly. So then I can crunch it up.
Jason?
Yeah.
Can we just deal with what you're doing now?
We're on it. We're on it.
Typical chef. Neil. Typical chef.
Yeah.
I know you're hungry, Neil.
I'm starving.
Not a problem. So, right. Okay. We're just going to plate up now. So, obviously, we've got the bruschetta. But the toasted wholemeal bread. We'll put the... let's have a little bit of movement here.
It's even got square plates as well. Have you noticed that?
I tell you what. I've got plates coming out my ears. Vicky says I'm more in love with the plates and my saucepans than I am with her, which is probably true. I always come back with something new. So,
do you do cooking with your kids?
Yeah. There's a few bits on my timeline on my Facebook page. Actually, that actually shows me cooking with the kids. They tend to like a lot of baking. So we got them on baking, we got them on cakes, simple cakes like tray bakes. And then young Millie, she comes in and she likes to move the whisk about. There we go, so that one's on there, we'll get rid of that. Okay, so that's on there now. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I've got a little bit of that extra cheese left. I'm just going to move that over the top. Like so. Give me 1 second. Just made a mess of the plate. Always happens.
The chefs love cleaning. They love cleaning around, don't they?
We certainly do. So that's it. So in here, I don't know if you see, I make up by abundant herb drizzles. So it's all different herbs, bit of seasoning, garlic. Whack it into. I've got lucky to have a big blender over there, and I blend it down in vast quantities. And then just pack it in the fridge. Comes in handy for seasoning all sorts. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put a bit of there, put a bit across here. That's a bit of flavour. Made a bit of a mess, but it doesn't matter. On top of that, I've got just a little bit here of red onion and tomato concasse. That adds a great little bit of flavour to this. So we're just going to do a little bit of a sprinkle around with that, just for a little bit of colour, a little bit of fancy stuff. And then, I don't know if you can see this, but I'll make this myself. Smoked paprika.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Finish that off with a little bit of smoked paprika across the top of that. Job's done, and then we just finish. I'm just going to finish that off with these leeks, these crispy leeks across the top. So, job's good. That's over there. We're done with that. So there we go, folks. It's all there. So if I can hold that up, you might be able to see.
Oh, that looks good.
It does look good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. So that is my lunch brunch: toasted malted brown, toasted with bread with truffle oil, the bacon steak, finished with the leek and mature cheddar cheese sauce. Then we have the leeks, the red onion, concasse, a little bit of herb drizzle, and the smoked paprika.
And in Northern speak, posh egg bacon on toast. Brilliant.
Yeah, you're in the south. You're in the south now, Mike. So
sorry.
us Southerners, that's what we eat just normally.
It looks really good. Thanks, Jason. So if people want to watch your showcase on Saturday, how do they do that?
I will be putting out the link. I've got one link coming already. The second link, hopefully, I think I've just had it come through actually. I'll put the link out on my timeline.
If you send it to us, and we'll put it on the page.
I will send it across to you guys, and then you guys can advertise it your end.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason. That's fabulous. The good news is you've not had any in-depth questions from our one viewer. They've just said good morning.
Yeah. Well, we just have to wait for the comments to come in later, or otherwise you have to take them off your timeline.
Yeah. If we get any questions come in about what people can do with things to get in food boxes, we'll come back to you, Jason, because that'd be quite good.
Please do. Yeah, if you get anything through there, I've done a lot with in the past with shelter people where they go away with a box.
Yeah.
So anyone, food is all about creativity. It's about simplicity. And it's also about a journey on a plate. And if you've got produce, whether it's good produce or just cheap produce, you can actually turn, a box of produce, well, probably 3 or 4 items into a meal for 4 that can last 2 days.
Absolutely.
And, by all means, please contact me through you guys or send me the link of their photographs. And then hopefully, I'll be able to point them in the right direction. And again, it's that old saying, no one should go hungry.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Jason. You're a star. Thank you so much. And
my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Take care,
no problem.
guys.
Unlike this morning, you've now got to do the washing up, haven't you?
Yeah.
No, don't worry about that. It goes in the bin now. But I can hear Vicky going, "Can I have that? Can I have that?"
I was going to say, you can't throw that in the bin. You got to eat it. You've got to eat
it. You've got to eat it.
Yeah, it's got Vicky's name on it.
Okay, no problem. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye.
Bye. There we go.
I have to say, that looked absolutely delicious.
It did. And do you know what? I was really worried how that was going to go. I thought yesterday, what are we doing this? And it worked so well. He was absolutely fantastic. He really was.
I must admit, for our one viewer, I did say before the start, what have we done? Why are we doing this? But that was brilliant. So it looked really good. One of my favorite meals, I have to confess, is eggs Benedict. I do love eggs Benedict. So seeing that looked really nice.
Do you have avocado with it?
It depends what comes when I buy it. Not if I'm making it, no.
So. Okay, so Jason, obviously he's done he's a chef and he's done a lot with food. So the idea being is that I think we need to look at a food box for next week and try and work out what you can actually do. That's because there are a lot of people who are getting food boxes who are not turning their noses up, but they don't like certain things.
Just a bit uncertain as to what to do with it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give you a confession though? One of my favourite things is marifat peas on toast.
Marifat peas?
Yeah, tin marifat peas.
They're those big. They're not even green, are they? They're sort of a light green.
Yeah. So from a tin, put them in the microwave. Piece of toast, bit of salt and pepper on your. Oh, beautiful.
Do you know what? My parents, they have.
You're looking at me thinking these Northerners are weird.
I know. They have tomatoes on toast.
Oh, tomatoes. But it's got to be tinned tomatoes on toast. Yes. It's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
lots of black cook pepper. Them up. Yeah. And brown bread as well, apparently. So I've been told. And a bit of Worcester sauce.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. I have to confess, that was my favourite breakfast when I was in the army because at least you knew with the tinned tomatoes they were going to be cooked. So I'd have a couple of slices of brown bread that was always a bit floppy with a scoop of tinned tomatoes, a scoop of plum tomatoes on top with black pepper, and you couldn't go wrong. It was really nice.
I don't like it. Turns the bread very pappy.
It does
very, very quickly, and I'm not a great fan. Beans on toast, eggs on toast. Yeah, I can deal with that, but tomatoes on toast. Sorry, there's only one place for a tomato, and that is in a bolognese. Yeah,
that's fair enough. So,
with a bit of
what
basil.
else have we got today to chat about? I was telling people before you interrupted me about this scene behind me.
Yes.
So this is a place called Torre Pellice in northern Italy. we're hosting this morning. One of our family's favourite places in the Italian Alps. Absolutely beautiful. And that was Easter about 5 years ago. And you can see how long ago it was because, hang on, I've got to move to the side because that's my kids when they were there. They've now got a bit bigger than that.
They're a bit bigger than that now.
Yeah. So I'll go back to the other background. But go on, what have you got?
Well, I wanted to briefly talk about the weather because obviously the British weather at the moment is a bit pants. It's not very nice. It's either cold or it's rainy. There's not really any sun about. Oh, hello, you got it sticking out the top of your head again.
I'm going to go for the other one then.
You're going to go for the other one.
We've been very lucky with Storm Christoph, haven't we, though? Because it seems to have skirted us again.
Yes.
A bit damp out there, was a bit windy, but we've not had the effects of it like other parts of the UK have.
I know my brother lives in Nottingham and he sent us pictures of his kids making snow angels, which is great.
Wow.
And apparently it snowed at the weekend. My wife is adamant about that. When she woke up, they said there was about 4 inches of snow on the floor. When I woke up, there was nothing. Here in Camberley, yeah.
Are you sure she wasn't delusional or something?
I don't know, but yeah.
You can discuss that with her. I'm not mentioning that. She scares me.
Yes, she scares me sometimes as well. So yeah, I'm hoping that the weather is going to get warmer like it did last year. If we could have another summer like we did last year,
that would be wonderful.
I mean, it helps in lockdown, doesn't it? It does help to have nice weather. But the one thing they do worry about, obviously, is with the good weather, people tend to go out, and when they tend to go out, they tend to socialise, and that's what we're not going to push that today because we did that last week.
You know, and what's the news this week is Surrey Heathborough Council have barriered off the picnic tables in Lightwards Country Park and Frimley Park, Lodge Park, because people were gathering. But I was in town this morning, had to nip to the post office and get something from the shops, and there was very few people about, and people were being very good today. So, but the big day today isn't that. The big day today is
Cheese Day. It's National Cheese Day today. Do you know that?
Is it?
It is. Yeah.
Sorry, I've just had a helicopter come over the house very low. So I don't know about you, but I love cheese. It's so dangerous.
I do. I love cheese, and as I've got older, I tend to like stronger cheese as well. But I don't like blue cheese, but I like brie. I like camembert. A very, very nice mature cheddar or extra mature cheddar.
Extra mature. Now. It's got to make your nose curl.
Yeah, and the what's the crumbly cheese you can get? I can't think what it's called now. It's the white crumbly. That's it. My nan used to have Wensleydale, and it was lovely because
it's not as nice as Lancashire or Cheshire cheese.
Oh, okay. I probably have tasted those, but
they're very nice and creamy. But so it's National Cheese Day. That's good. So that means we've got to eat cheese. What else is happening today? I know it's quite a big deal across the pond, isn't it?
Yes, the inauguration of the new president. This is where America, well, some would say that it's a good thing, some would say it's a bad thing. We're not going to get political, but the new president gets inaugurated today.
I'm just praying that it goes peacefully because they've never seen as many security forces, troops on the streets in peacetime before. And I'm just praying that it will go safely, it will go well. And yeah, it goes without hassle. It's an interesting time. It's a new chapter in the book of the United States, isn't it?
I was watching the news, 10 o'clock news last night, and they were interviewing people outside, and there is a lot of barbed wire, a lot of fences.
Yeah.
I think, as with all the Americans, they always go over the top.
No.
So they've gone over the top with their security, which is fair dues, But and now Donald Trump is saying he wants to work with the new president. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. And so Pickford's turned up yesterday to remove them out of because it's got to be cleaned.
It has deep clean, doesn't it? So they did that yesterday, and I think they saw the removal vans took his stuff down to his estate in Florida. But he's not done so good because lots of his business companies that worked with him have pulled out of the contracts and things. They're just very nervous. But he'll be secluded down in his resort there playing golf. He'll be quite happy.
He will be. And do you know, he gets called Mr. President, even though he's not president anymore. He gets the inaugural title of Mr. President. So he will be a Mr. President for the rest of his life, which is a bit frightening, really, isn't it? Is it? I mean, has anyone spoken to Alan Sugar about this? You know, what do they? What does he think of what's going on with them? Because Alan Sugar and Donald Trump, they're quite similar, aren't they? Really?
They are. They both did The Apprentice. So I just wonder if when if President Biden is going to say in his speech, "You're fired."
You're fired. Yes.
Sorry, that'd be quite. But it's interesting to see, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in. Don't they say the first 100 days of a presidency? To see what he's going to do. He's already talked about bringing them back into the Paris Climate Accord. He's got a good plan for dealing with the COVID situation and various things. So it's looking hopeful, but I think the hardest part for him is it is a divided nation. And working in a polarized world now where opinions have been split. People are so nervous. You know, nations are nervous of America now. So he's got a lot of hard work to do to bring it back together.
And of course, he's got those rules. He's got those laws that he can pass. Is it eight laws he's got, which he can just write off straight away? Which Donald Trump sat down on the first day of being president and literally just wrote them all off totally.
Right.
So he's got, but as with England, presidency is 4 years. Presidency 4 years, I believe it's 4 years, isn't it? So
England, the Parliament's 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it 5 years in England?
Yeah.
I thought it was 4 years.
I thought it was 5. I don't know.
Oh, anyway.
I'll have to ask Alistair. He'll tell me.
Yeah, the important part is the second term, because the second term is actually when they can either do some good or do some damage. So some would say that Donald Trump not having a second year means that basically perhaps it's a good thing.
But that Biden will be 82 if he goes for a second term.
Really?
Yeah, because he's 78 now. He's the oldest president ever to be inaugurated. And so his second term would make him 82. So, I guess that would open the way for Kamala Harris or somebody like that.
Yeah, I mean, in this country, 65, you're out. That's it. That's it. You're retired. Is it 70 now?
Well, unless you're a minister, it's when you fall over.
Yeah.
And it's
you have to be freestanding, don't you?
Yeah, it was one of those where certainly, I remember it going up to 67, and then I spoke to our general secretary and I said, so when do you think I'll be getting to retire? And the response was, retire? Yeah, no. I've just Googled it, as you do. And parliamentary fixed term is up to 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And if they've not called an election by the 5 years, that's when they call an election.
But then the government takes over, doesn't it? The prime minister, he's the voice of the government, but you have all these other departments which take over and things like that.
Yeah, he's the in the UK, the Prime Minister is the first amongst equals. So, the First Minister of State, the First Lord of the Treasury is the formal title. And you got to remember, in the UK, you have to go. The Prime Minister has to go to the Queen to suspend Parliament, to call an election. And I think, whatever people think of the monarchy, I think it's a really good check and balance we have there. That actually we can't have somebody like a president just unilaterally making a decision. It's got to go check and balance to the Queen, who very rarely would say no, but certainly does listen to the letters she gets and the comments of her people, us, and will actually heed caution. And I think one of the greatest things in our system is that the Prime Minister has the weekly audience with the Queen, probably by Zoom at the moment. But that is totally confidential, and it's never, there's a bond that is never repeated.
Did you know? Did you know a fact here? If you have a private meeting with the Queen, that rule is that basically nothing is said in that meeting.
Yeah,
doesn't matter whoever you are. If you just happen to bump into the Queen in Buckingham Palace while you're there, have a chat. Nothing can be said about that meeting.
And it's absolutely right, because they certainly, people will have heard in conferences the term Chatham House rules, which is what's said in the room stays in the room. And I think that's a really important prerogative in that setting. And it's very much the case in, when I've sat in meetings when I was in the army, we had Chatham House rules so that we could speak freely and openly and actually discuss the matter at hand rather than beating around the bush. And it made life a lot easier, but it was very much Chatham House rules, because it's the only way you can do it to move things forward. And it works. And I think that's a great thing in our system, to be honest. So, so it's real change in America. What else have you got on your agenda? Because I'm just aware that time's running away quick and we need to be finishing.
Time's running away. I was just saying, some of you may have noticed that I've been posting jokes during the week, Monday to Friday.
We need a grown icon on Facebook.
Yeah, the reason being is that I feel that sometimes it's nice just to start off with a little bit of a smile, a little bit. Oh, I don't believe it, and yeah, I think a joke or a one-liner is a nice way to start the day, and it's actually getting quite a lot of reaction as well. So, and if you're interested and below, if you want to post an alternative tagline to that joke, then that's perfectly fine. People have been doing that. Some people have been
Which
doing
hashtag are you using for your joke?
Hashtag. I'm not using hashtags. I'm being really
joke
bad.
Of the day.
Joke of the day. Yeah. I should be using more hashtags, to be honest. Those of you social. Yeah, Dan will be he'll be quite upset the fact I'm not using hashtags, because it is the way, obviously, with social media. But
I thought we were going to get away with a week without mentioning Dan, but hi, Dan.
Yeah. We'll have to get him on at some point.
Again.
If we get St. Paddy's Day, he could wear a green suit, couldn't he, with leprechauns on it or something like that. Yeah, well, he wore the Christmas suit. He must have another suit for St. Paddy's Day. So
he did. Anyway, I think it's probably time that we finish, isn't it? Because
I think it is
coming up on 10 to 11. So it's great to see everyone. The big news this week is keep safe, please. Follow the rules, stay at home, stay apart from each other, keep washing your hands and keep wearing your mask. But above all, keep safe, and we can get through this together.
And we will see you all of you, all two of you, next week. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Wednesday. See you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.